Welcome to a Tayari Lens production by Derrick Kundai Mgazi. Every day on social media, stories appear that shake us. Pain, conflict, creativity, and hope all colluding in our timelines. I'm Derrick Kundai Mgazi, and this is From Shadows to Systems, a Tayari Lens production. Here we don't just scroll past the issues, we study them, understand their impact, and build solutions. Tonight we are exploring a question trending across Africa. Who really owns the artist's name? Really, who really owns the artist's name? Every day, a lot of people are asking, a lot of things are happening whilst we are watching, whether it's on social media, whether it's on our day-to-day things. Really, who really owns the artist's name? It's a question that has been pondering in my mind all this while. And we've seen artists, and among them big artists, those with big catalogs, starting all over again. Really? Is it something that you think we should just put a side eye and say no? Let it just slide. Really. Today we are looking forward to explore, analyze, and come up with some of the things after research that we think might be of use to assist and help with curbing this challenge that has infested the industry of content creators, artists, and musicians. Let's dig deep. A journalist, Plot Marco, summed it up. In Zimbabwe, several artists, including big names, have faced similar challenges, losing to their accounts ownership of their stage names or entangled in royalties disputes. That post went viral because it resonated with a lot of Zimbabweans, it resonated with a lot of artists within the field. A lot of artists have faced the same challenge. You've seen Earground unraveling a lot of deep decay in the way artists' revenues are managed through ZIMURA in Zimbabwe, how the artists are paying licenses, and the lowest earning member of ZIMURA, who is an employee at ZIMURA, is earning more than an artist can earn. You know, if you remember very well, someone was being paid $28 for their music, which will have been played all long year. ZIMURA collecting revenue but not paying enough for artists to survive. Really? Is it something that we can say, oh, this is good, okay, let's just pay a side eye? Really? Should we do that? Should we just let it slide? I don't think so. We need to act. We need to create an awareness. We need to talk about these things. We need to really pay an eye to these things, because that's where the decay is. That's where things are happening. That's where a lot of corruption is actually starting. Let's build deep. Let's dig deep. May 23 to October 2025. Makhadzi, down south versus OpenMic. They have been locked in horns. They have locked horns. They have been locked in bros. Due to what? Due to mismanagement. Due to these issues of who really owns the name, who really owns the brand. You know, they were publishing allegations against Mokima Music / that's Vision Music. Mokima denies wrongdoing. They really deny if you go on the publication by Times on the 30th of August 2025, you will find these stories. And down south again, not Zimbabwe versus again open mic. Really, open mic is being found in the middle of all these things. The Jerusalem saga, you know it, you've heard about it. It's back in court. They are back in court talking about it, trying to find out how best can they resolve this issue, trying to find and resolve the authorship battle. In the Pretoria High Court trial set, it's actually set for the 17th to the 20th of August, so that the High Court will judge and adjudicate on this case. You remember Zahara 2019 battle to 2023? It was actually a case where up until she died, unpaid royalties dispute, and they have actually resurfaced now in 2025 because they didn't pay royalties even after performing, even after recording, even after releasing bangers and bangers that made a lot of royalties. She was not paid. Cassper Nyovest trademark issue that she ended up even paying damages to DJ somebody. This highlights brand and royalty disputes across the globe, across the sector. There are a lot of things that are actually needs to be looked at. We cannot just pay a blind eye. In Harare, the High Court judge, Justice Maphorisa, ruled that ZIMURA is the legitimate licensing organization in Zimbabwe. That was a case that ended up being dismissed. 2022 to 2025, ongoing royalty transparency issues have been there. We have talked about this. Earground is doing the groundwork. They are working flat out. And you have noticed recently there are going to be some elections to choose the new board that will represent artists in Zimbabwe, that will represent the musicians, so that they will be transparent. The musicians are pushing for more transparency in terms of how the money and how their subscriptions are being used, and how can they actually bank on those subscriptions to earn more royalties. Takura, you know about this one. It is alleged he rebranded to Sona Prince, according to your post on Instagram. Why? Because he fell prey to a lot of those people who come and present themselves as the door that will allow you to be able to tap into a wider market and be able to enjoy the royalties. But that was not a good deal. It ended up with him deciding to say, okay, I just leave it. Leaving his name, Makadzi down south, he changed. He had to leave all the hard work, everything that she worked for. She left it and rebranded to Makadzi Entertainment. Takura left his name and changed it to Shona Prince now. He is now under Shona Prince. All his music now being recorded under Shona Prince. Why? Why? All because of the scavengers who take an opportunity and capitalize on the decay of the industry, on the decay of, or maybe I would say they capitalize on the issues that are ravaging the industry, lack of knowledge, and capitalize on that. And because people sometimes don't read fine print, we end up signing and surrendering everything that we own, everything that calls us, everything that calls our name. We end up surrendering it. Really, does it really have to be like that? Or if you decide to say, okay, my name is everything that I have, should we not really protect that name? Should we not really create a brand that has good security? Let's dig deeper. Just after this short break, we'll come back and delve deeper into what's happening in the market. Whether it's in Johannesburg, Harare, or New York, the playbook is the same. Clearly, contracts and clear ownership, royalties routed through middlemen and artists, discovering too late that their brand was never theirs. It's a deep issue. It's really a case where we need to see how best can we help our artists, how best can we help them to end up not falling prey to this. In Zimbabwe, the ZIMURA versus ZCCO ruling finally clarified who collects music royalties, but it also revealed how thin our data infrastructure is. Audits are manual, reports infrequent, and artists often don't know where their songs are registered. Really. When we are now in 2025, the digital world, the digital environment is taking off. No one really knows. Like, there's no data to show or even to allow the artist to track their music, the artist to track whatever happens with their royalties, how many times their music has been played across wide channels. There's nothing. My dear startup fellas, founders, those who have interest in this environment, those who have interest in this sector, don't you see there's a gap there? Don't you see there's something that can be done to create a solution, to create a pipeline that will end up becoming a solution for all, a solution that will really unravel this whole decay and actually creating an environment where artists will enjoy their royalties without any challenges, really. We need to dig deeper into this. Across the region, collecting societies are trying to modernize, but lack of digital linkage keeps creators in the dark. There is no infusion, there is no integration that allows people to track everything at one go. That linkage is lacking. Where are our creators? Where are our startup entrepreneurs? Where are we? You know, of late I have noticed everyone is just focusing on creating content, making money on Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube, but no one is really thinking of how best can we create a signage. Of course, the platform has been created. It is the high time to capitalize on what's been created now, but it is also high time for us to create a platform that allows us to know, to keep track record at one go. The ecosystem is ripe, but there's no creativity. There's no There's nothing really. And then there is a digital account control, the new royalty system. Lose your YouTube or Spotify dashboard and you have lost audience and the income. Those battles between management sometimes taking advantage of artists because of lack of knowledge, creating a lot of different pseudo accounts in artists' names, stealing their hard work, pushing it through their own channels, capitalizing on creating different digital signatures for the content that will have been developed by someone through their hard work. Really, do we need to do that? Do we need to go that far? That's how the dilemma is. That's how big it is. It's a mammoth job. It doesn't call for one person. It doesn't call for just ear ground alone or a few artists. It calls for all. It calls for us all. We need to come in and help. We need to come in and help. I'll take a short break and we'll be with you shortly. I was researching and I came up with this solution checklist. I'll just read through it. It's not really to say this is the full package or this is the right thing for everyone to do. It's just something that I was researching and I found out that it's something that could help. Maybe it could be a start for every artist, for everyone, so that probably they will be able to start working on something, a step towards the right direction. For us to protect our names, we need to give it that name and let that name be protected. Trademark your names. Research how to go through that. You have a stage name, you have given yourself your name. Why lose it if it's the biggest asset that you have? We need to trademark that name. File with Intellectual Property Office in Zimbabwe under clause 41 and 9. Reserve matching social handles and domain names. Keep registration certificates and renew every 10 years. Use split sheets and royalty contracts. Record each song's contributors and percentage. Store PDF in cloud storage. Add ISRIS codes before release. Register and audit with ZIMURA. Submit Form A plus 3 weeks or ISRCs. Request quarterly statements. Exercise audit rights per Copyright Act. On your digital real estate, use Meta Business Manager and YouTube brand accounts. Keep admin emails and two-factor authentication under artist ownership. Keep a dispute diary. Save emails, screenshots, and messages as evidence. Use cloud backup labeled legal evidence. As for regional protection, register with SAMPRA, it's a SAR, and COSOTA TZ for neighboring rights. Consider blockchain proof via different other platforms. I created a prototype. That I think I'm not really much into the arts industry or maybe content industry. I'm not really into that, but I think it's a step toward the right direction. I created a prototype. If anyone is interested or anyone in that industry really feel that it's something that could create a solution, I created a prototype and I named it OwnMuse. This platform will help you come in and register your music. It will create a blockchain ID and also some digital signatures that you will be able to then, whenever you release or you create your proprietary, you will be able to have an IP vault, and then that will help you to track where you have registered most of your music, and roughly it will give you the benchmarks in terms of where you stand and how many times your music have been played, etc. This is something that would help us go or move toward the right direction. It's really important that we can look at that. Just as for startups, as for those who are in the industry of developing tools, you know, there is a gap. The gap is very wide, and if you are interested in the arts industry, I think it's high time that we look into the digital IP vault plus smart royalties system for African creators. The market size is very huge. African creative economy is worth 5 billion according to UNESCO 2024. 90% of artists are unregistered with CMOs. Streaming revenue is rising 35% year on year according to IFPI Africa 2025. You can create different revenue models, $5 to $25 monthly subscription for artists, 2 to 5% traction fee on royalty disbursement, enterprise API for CMOs and labels, workshops via different offerings, etc. There is a lot of how you can really create the revenue, and the revenue models are, you can name it, or you can choose whichever model that you want to go with. Partner with musicians, partner with content creators, partner with TV labels and music labels. You will choose the way you want, and the market is ripe. There is a gap, the gap that needs to be filled, the gap that needs us to come together, create a solution for our artists and everyone. It's a win-win situation. You create something, you earn. Artists protect their name, they will protect their money, they will protect their legacy. You know, the impact will result in IP protection, enables instant royalty micropayments, build specific database of verified works, support creative financial inclusion. Just before we just go into our final segment of this podcast, I would like to thank all those who have been the voice of the voiceless. A lot of people are coming into the arts industry because that's what they dream about, that's what they eat, that's where their sweat is. But they are not earning, they are failing to make money out of that because of the scavengers that have that are gatekeeping the industry, that are creating a monster in the industry. We need to create an environment that allows everyone to bloom. Let's help our smaller artists. Let's get them protected. Let's show them how it's done. You know, I don't think we need to try by all means not to give out information, but rather, yes, information is power, but at the same time, sometimes the more we try to hang on to the power, the more we destroy. That's how I feel it. That's how I see it. Let's not destroy. Let's create an environment. Let's create an environment that promotes people to bloom, promote people to unleash their beasts and be able to tap onto the biggest chunk of the market. You heard it. It's 90 billion worth of an industry. So if we can tap onto that, we are at a point where Zimbabwe is at an inflection where this is sometimes the reason why we end up getting taxed 2% or each and every time when they see anything they think of taxing. Why? Because we are not bringing in the right energy. Even the government does not protect the artists. Think of it. A name is not just letters, it's equity. When you lose your name, you have lost your legacy. The future belongs to those who treat their identity as their first business. In the Tayari Lens, we believe the systems turn pain into progress. From Makhadz's resilience to Zimbabwean artists reclaiming their rights, these stories are not tragedies. They are training grounds for better structures. I'm Derrick Kundai Mgazi. This is From Shadows to Systems. Remember, your file is your future. Register it before you release it. Tayari Lens, ready to see differently.